In this video, we're going to create the MemeMaker app for Chapter 20 in Intro to App Development with Swift. This will be the last app that we'll create in this course. And we're going to do something like this here on the left, where you have some choices at the top and then a message. You have an image and then another message and choices at the bottom. What happens is when you select an item at the bottom, it changes this phrase. When you select an item at the top, it changes that phrase. So, for example, the types of things we can do, we can have some different messages, questions at the top, and then some answers below. And we're going to use emoji to create the icons within the controls. Alright, there is no source code for this project, so we're going to create it from scratch. Let's dive right in. Go ahead and open Xcode. And let's create a new Xcode project. This will be a single view app. Go ahead and choose next. And let's call this MemeMaker. And click next. And then we'll just save it. Alright. Now, let's go over to the main storyboard and let's lay out all the controls that we're going to use. We are going to use what we call a segmented control, and if you just go down here and filter and type SEG, you'll see segmented controls. So click and drag one up there, and we're going to need a second one at the bottom, so go ahead and click down and kind of set it there on the bottom. Let's go back and filter. We can scroll down for the label and have a label up here and a label down here. And finally, we need an image, so I can filter by typing IMA, and we want the image view. Click and drag and set it right here. Alright, let's set this up. One thing I want to point out, here I'm using Xcode 9, but it behaves very similar to Xcode 8, where you have the view as. So let's select view as and let's choose the iPhone 4S. Again, the reason we do this is so that we're designing for the smallest device that we want to support, and this way we make sure everything fits on the screen. Now let's select the UI image view, and we can do a couple of ways. Let's set some constraints, and we want this one, and we're going to set a width and a height, and we want this to be 250, and I just press tab and we say 250, and then I click add to constraints. Now right now it needs to update a little bit, so if we click here update frames, and it didn't take it. So let's change this. I have the UI imagery selected. Let's go over here and we're going to change the physical size. The width 250, the height 250. Press tab and there we go. Alright, now it's still showing some errors, but as soon as we add this to a stack view, that'll fix it. So let's select all of these controls. So I click and drag and I select them, and then we say embed in stack. Now it's embedded. Now with it selected over here, let's go back, and under the attributes we want to add some space so that it fits a little better and looks nicer on the screen. Okay, very good. With stack view selected, let's go ahead and add our final layout to keep it centered. Come down here and we want to align horizontally, vertically, and go ahead and click add to constraints. Awesome. So now this will fit nicely on the device. Okay, now that we've got our controls, we need to do one thing where we need to create an image for this. So I don't have an image. You could find an image that you have permissions to use, of course, but in this instance I'm going to create an image by using the built-in tools that allow me to create a screen grab. So if I press Command, Shift, and the number 4, notice how my cursor changes. Now I can click and drag. And notice how it tells me coordinates. And I can see here. And we'll approximate something like 250 by 250. Okay, it took a screenshot for me. Let me open Xcode, click over here to the assets, and then if I open my Finder and I click here and I go to the desktop, then I want to click and drag and let go. There's my screenshot. Now let's give this a name. I want to close out the Finder. Let's click second time and we're going to give this a name. So we're going to call this the sky. Now go back to main.storyboard, select my UI image view, and for the image I just want to select sky. Now you can have this scaled fit, aspect fit, however you'd like. Aspect fit will make it work regardless of how big that is. It'll look the same as when we created it. It won't be stretched or anything. Alright, very good. Now let's open the assistant editor, and we want to connect our controls. So press Control and then click and drag, and let's call this top caption segmented control, and then press return. Let me give myself a little space here, and let's click here and we'll press Control and then we'll click and drag, and we're going to call this top caption label. Press connect. We don't need to worry about the image because that'll stay the same for now. Let's grab this bottom control, click and drag, and let's call this bottom caption label. And let's control click and control click and drag, and we will call this bottom caption segmented control. Alright, very good. Delete this empty space. Perfect. Alright, there's a couple things we want to do now. When the app loads, when we have this view did load, remember that gets called after everything on the screen has been displayed before it's shown to the user. We can then manipulate what's on screen. So the way the UI segmented control works, this is called a UI segmented control, which the way this works, you have an index that says, okay, here's the first item, here's the second item, third item. You can have multiple items. The index starts at 0, so this first one would be index 0, this is index 1, and so on. So what we want to do is create an array of objects that represent our choices. Before we make our choices, though, we need to create a new file to hold a struct or structure that represents the caption choice. So let's go over here to our navigation. I'm going to right click and choose new file, and then make sure it says Swift file. Choose next, and let's call this caption choice. Alright, it creates a folder for us. A file, sorry. And in this file, we're going to have a struct, and the way we create that is called the struct keyword, and we're going to call this caption choice. Inside, we're going to have two constants. One is the emoji, which is a string, and the other is caption, which is the text associated with it. We're going to use constants because we'll create them once, so we won't change them. after we've created a caption. All right, go back to the main.storyboard. The way this works is we're going to create an array of choices for the top row and an array of choices for the bottom row. So we're going to reference these arrays throughout the code in the app. And so I'm going to, up here above, this will be called, we're going to create a variable called top choices. And that's going to be an array of caption choice. And so we initialize it that way. Then we have another array called bottom choices equals, and it's an array of caption choice objects, or structs as we've called it. All right, very good. Now, within this viewDidLoad function, we need to create a number of caption choice options for the top one and for the bottom. If we go back to the book, notice it says, you know what's cool, could be represented by that emoji. And so we have these different emojis. So let's create an array. I want to move this off screen so I can see it and still type. So let's create the constants for these top choices. So we're going to say let cool choice equal caption choice, and it goes with an emoji, which is a string. And remember, you can get the emoji picker by choosing Control Command Space. And let's find the cool sunglasses. Here we go. And the caption is going to be a string, which is, you know what's cool? All right. Now we want another caption. Let mad choice equal caption. I'm pressing tab to autocomplete and pressing tab to get to the next autocomplete. Now I'll fill in with this Control Command Space. We need the explosion symbol, which is right here. Then we come here and we type the caption, which is, you know what makes me mad, question mark. All right, and then let's say another one, let love choice equals caption choice. Oops. And we want another emoji. Whoops, I got ahead of myself. Let me press Control Command Space. Oh, come on. It doesn't like it. Let me delete that. Press Control Command Shift. What is going on? Okay. Let me just delete this and see. It's throwing errors because I haven't used these variables. These errors you can ignore because it's saying, hey, you haven't used this yet. And I'm saying, well, I haven't used it yet because I'm not done typing. Well, for some reason, the shortcut isn't working. It doesn't. Let me see. Xcode's giving me grief again. Let me go ahead and close out of this. Oh, there's the window. Sure, there you are. Hiding. Silly window. All right, let's open it again. Silly window. It was hiding behind it. Press Control Command Space. There you go. Now I see you. Okay, now we need the little hearts. Where is it? Here hearts, here hearts. Oh, come on. Nope, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I probably skipped it. There it is. Here we go. Hearts. All right. And the caption is, "You know what I love." Okay. This represents all the choices for the top. So we say top choices equals, and then we have an array literal that just says cool caption, comma, cool choice, comma, mad choice, comma, love choice. Awesome. Now, when we have this array, to use this in a segmented control, there's one thing we want to do, which is remove the existing. So notice how this control over here has first and second. Those are items in the control. Well, we want to remove that. So we say top caption segmented control dot remove all segments. So it's a segment. So now we've removed all the segments. Now we want to loop through the top choices, and for each choice we're going to add the emoji, and then add the emoji is really what we want. So we say for choice in top choices, and we say top caption segmented control dot insert segment, and I want to choose insert segment with title, and the title takes a string, and guess what? Choice has an emoji, which is a string. When we say at index, we can just choose the top choices dot count, and then animated we're going to say false, because this will be filled before anyone sees anything on the screen. So we don't need to animate it. All right. The next thing we need to do is, once we have created all of our, added all their segments, then the next thing we do is what we call set the selected index. Selected segment index equals 0. I want to close this sidebar so we can see this a little better. There we go. All right. So let's run this and let's see how it goes. Now I'm using Xcode 9, and it happens to have the simulators for the new iPhone 10, or as I like to call it, the iPhone X, because it's awesome. So let's run that. Ooh, it's the new iPhone X. Look at that. Isn't that cool? All right, so there's our image. Here's our first segment control. And okay, thanks for that. It thought I scrolled down, but I didn't. All I did was click. Okay, now we need to hook this up. We need to add the rest of the items. Okay. Very good. So see how that works? It added these 3 choices with the emoji, and it set index 0, which is the first one, to be selected. All right, let's go ahead and stop this. Let's do a couple other things before we finish this method. Let's go to the segment control and create an action. So I'm going to press Control, I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to release, choose action, and we're going to say choice selected, and choose connect. Then I want to add the same method to this other control. So notice now both of them call this same action when you change the value. The way this is working, we need to first we need to do the same thing we did for top choices, do that for bottom choices. And then we need to add another method to create the update the labels. So let's continue with the bottom choices, and we're going to say let cat choice equal caption choice, and we're going to say emoji, press Control Command Space, and we're going to scroll quickly. A cat. We want the cat, and its caption is going to be cats wearing hats. And then let dog choice equal caption choice, and we're going to say the dog face, and then dogs carrying logs, and finally let monkey choice equal caption choice emoji autocomplete, sorry, emoji, and then where's, I can't see that far away. Wait, there's the monkey face. Okay, now we say monkeys being, whoops, let me spell right. Monkeys being funky. Awesome. Okay, as we did with top choices, we're going to say the same thing with the bottom choices. We're going to say bottom choices equals, and we're going to say cat choice, dog choice, and monkey choice. Perfect. We're going to reset the bottom caption segmented control dot remove all segments, and then we're going to loop through the bottom choices for choice in bottom choices, and we're going to do the same thing, only this time we're going to say bottom caption segment control dot insert, and we're going to say insert with title, and we say choice dot emoji at index, we're going to say bottom choices dot count, and then animated is false. Okay, then we're going to set the first index for the segmented control dot selected segment index equals 0. All right, so all this happens when the app loads and says view did load, and all of these things change. Then we need to call a method that updates the label based on which item was selected. So we're going to call this method, and I'm going to name this function update labels, and I'm going to call that method from the view did load. So we're going to say update labels, and I'm going to call that same method every time we make a selection. And so we say update labels. Very good. So what does update labels do? Well, first we're going to update the top label and also the bottom label. To make it simpler to read, I'm going to say create an index for the currently selected top index and currently selected bottom index. So I'm going to say let top index equal, and then I reference the top caption segmented control dot selected index segment index, and then I'm going to say let bottom index equal bottom caption segmented control dot selected index. Okay, now what I want to do then is create a choice for the bottom label. So I'm going to say, or the top and bottom. So I'm going to say let top choice equal, and I'm going to, from the top choices index, array, I'm going to get the item that was selected. And then we say let bottom choice equal bottom choices, and then bottom index. Okay. Now, once I've done this, I'm going to set the label. So here's the caption choice for the top one and the caption choice for the bottom. And so then remember up here, we have top caption label, bottom caption label. So I say top caption label dot text equals top choice dot caption. Remember? And then I say bottom caption label dot text equals bottom choice dot caption. Okay, now let's review what we've done. When the app loads, it calls view did load. Here we're initializing, we're creating our choices. We have a caption choice struct over here in the caption choice Swift file, and the struct has an emoji and a caption. Go back to the main.storyboard. All right, so here we are. We have these choices. Then we have a top segmented control. We clear it. Then we loop through the top choices array. We've got the top choices array made up of these, all that we've created. For each choice, we insert the segment based on the emoji. Then we set the selected index, meaning something has as if someone had selected an item. We default to the first item. Then we set up the bottom choices, same idea. After that, we call update labels. With update labels, we get the currently selected index for the segmented control. And from there, within the top choices and bottom choices array, we get the caption choice for that specific segment that was selected. Then we update the top caption label and the bottom caption label. Every time we click a segment, it calls a method that says update labels. All right, let's give it a whirl. All right, very cool. You know what's cool? Cats wearing hats. Then if I click a different item, notice how this changes. You know what makes me mad? Cats wearing hats, of course. Or if I select a bottom, notice how this changes. Dogs carrying logs, that makes me mad. But it's mostly monkeys being funky that really make me mad. But you know what I love? Cats wearing hats. Awesome, very good. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out more videos.